the Ford Focus. Now, can you guess the connection between it and this little island just off the coast of Scotland? Well, as I'm sure you're all probably aware, as is everyone of course, this is the Isle of Muck, and the Ford Focus is of course as common as muck. But it's not hard to see why it's one of Britain's most popular cars. It's because it's a really good looking car and the price is right for this thing, you know. It starts from around 16 grand, but Ford dealers are always willing to give discounts. And if you click up there to go to carwow.co.uk, you can find out the best discount you can get on a Ford Focus. But anyway, on with the review. Now, I'm going to start off by being critical because one of the problems with the Ford Focus is that its boot is among the smallest in this class. So it could be a bit of a problem if you need to carry loads of sales samples. And there's no real clever features to it. You've got this huge load lip, there's no false floor, there's not really anywhere to tie anything to, and I can't even see a 12-volt socket. And when you fold the seats down, they do stick up quite a way. But there's a reason for that, and if you go around there, I'll show you what it is. If I just put this seat back so you can see what's going on, what you have to do before you fold these seats back down is fold the base out and then put it down, and then it does lie flatter, though there is still a bit of a ridge, so it's not ideal for sliding longer items to the back. And really that system, it's a bit old-fashioned these days. And there's some of the things a bit annoying about the back. So the doors don't open all that wide, and this plus the fact that the ISOFIX anchor points are hard to locate means that it can be a bit awkward to fit a child seat in the back of this Ford Focus. In terms of the space in the back seats, it's all right, you know, knee room is pretty good. The problem is the sloping roofline means headroom is a bit tighter, so 6-footers will struggle a touch. In terms of carrying 3 people, well, you have got a bit of a lump in the floor, and yeah, it does eat into foot space, but it's okay. It's not a class leader in the rear seats compared to rivals, but it's all right. And you can actually see for yourself what it's like with 3 in the back by clicking up there to watch our in-depth practicality video. And also you'll be able to see what it's like to fit a child seat and just how much stuff we could pack into the boot. Now, the thing with the Focus is that it keeps improving as you go from the back towards the front. And actually, to sit in, shut up! God, that noise just does my head in. Anyway, to sit in, this driving position is just perfect. It feels nice and sporty, and that actually extends to how this car drives, and we'll come on to that in a bit because we need to talk about the design, the interior. Well, yeah, it's starting to show its age. And while you do have nice squidgy materials there on the dash, which do pass the carwow flick test, look at that. In fact, they're so yielding, you don't need an airbag. You can just use that to cushion yourself in an accident. Up here on the doors, I mean, these are cheap. You don't get that in an Astra, you don't get that in a Golf, and yes, doesn't pass the flick test at all. In terms of cubby spaces though, it is better, the Focus. So you've got a huge glove box. I mean, you can fit boxing gloves in there, and the door bins, they're large as well. If you're buying a Focus, please avoid the entry-level car because it has steel wheels and a horrible little 4-inch infotainment screen. This is the Zetec S, and it gets more kit, such as this 8-inch infotainment screen, but you really want the titanium because it adds stuff like auto, well, headlamps and wipers and some other stuff like parking sensors. In terms of the infotainment system itself, well, it doesn't come as standard, whichever model you go for, with navigation, which is a bit mean. And on the whole, this touchscreen, it's not the easiest to use. In fact, you can see our full review of it by clicking up there to watch our detailed infotainment review. So far, the Ford Focus is a little bit uninspiring. However, it does have an ace up its sleeve. That's because it's ace to drive. You know, if you want a normal family car, which actually is really good fun, in fact, sometimes more fun than some supposed sports cars, then this is where it's at, because the Ford Focus, well, it handles brilliantly, it steers sweetly, although it's a bit of a shame that this steering wheel just is horrible and squidgy and cheap feeling. The controls are nice as well, got a great shift on this 6-speed manual, and the dual clutch auto that you can get with it's good as well. It's reasonably comfy too, so you don't feel like you're compromising. The only issues are that actually you do get quite a lot of tyre gnaw from this car and quite a bit of wind whistle at speed, and that gets on your nerves after a while when you're cruising down the motorway. Another issue is this, look, you've got no little window in there like you get on a Golf, so it creates a bit of a blind spot. And if you click up there on the card, you can see for yourself by joining me for a passenger ride in our 360-degree video. So you can get this Ford Focus with a little 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine with varying degrees of power. It claims good economy, but in reality, because you have to thrash it to get the best out of that engine, your MPG is never as good as you imagine. So instead, if you can, spend the extra cash if you you want a petrol and get the 1.5 litre turbo petrol, because the real world economy is pretty much the same, but the performance is really strong. If you want a diesel though, this 1.5 litre does the job, it's quick enough, and Ford claims 74 miles per gallon, and the trick computer, it's saying 62. I think that's almost a world record for me.
So then, the Ford Focus is excellent to drive. However, there are a few annoying things which are less than excellent about it.
Parts of the car feel like it's just been snapped together rather than screwed together, because, I mean, look at this. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Before Ford facelifted the car, the fuel filler cap used to match up with the rear light, but now, yeah, it doesn't. That really bugs my OCD. We all like somewhere to rest our arms, but lower spec models don't have an armrest. The larger wheels may look good, but they do cause more road noise. That's annoying. You can't get the Ford Focus with foam mirroring, so the only way to do it is by this. It's not the same.
Thankfully, the Focus has plenty of good points which help make up for all this.
Say I'm hungry using the voice commands, and the sat-nav will find the nearest restaurants. It also has a list of Michelin-starred restaurants, though I'm not sure many Focus owners frequent those eateries. The Ford Focus's auto parking system can spot a space 40 yards away. I think that car's still looking for one. You can get a programmable key to limit the top speed and the volume from the stereo, perfect if you can lend your car to a younger driver. All Ford Focuses have sophisticated independent rear suspension, which gives the car its fine handling, though this one seems a little bit squeaky. This 1.5 litre diesel engine has an emissions filter which is only this big, but if you were to unravel it, it will be able to cover 2 football fields. So then, overall, what do I think of the Ford Focus? Well, the boot is a little bit small for this class, and well, the infotainment system isn't that great. But you know, this car, well, it looks fabulous and it's really good to drive. Now, if you click it there, you can get more information and find out the best deal you can get on a Ford Focus at carwow.co.uk. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. And if you click over there, you can watch our detailed infotainment, practicality and 360-degree passenger ride video for the Ford Focus. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in the video? It was the fact that the camera was out of focus at the very beginning of the review.